Alright boys, sample breakdown 2. You guys enjoyed the last one. A lot of you guys found it helpful. This one is, what is it? NEMZZZ part 2. One of my favorites from recent samples. We're just going to show you exactly how we made everything. There's a drill beat on it as well, so we'll break that down. Let's just get straight into it. Start breaking it down. Hopefully you guys can learn something.
Before we jump into the sample breakdown, I'm going to show you the process of how the first layer traveled through 2 different projects and ended up in the project NEMZZZ part 2. So we'd made the starter, send this off to one of our mates to do a vocal on it, and this is what the original sample sounded like. Unfortunately, we lost the FLP because my hard drive died. Here's what the original WAV file sounds like because we can't get into the FLP.
We stay out late, we party all night. I drink until we fucking slow down. I told you twice just to slow down.
That's the original sample. So this story goes to show that you can reuse layers again, and it's good too because you can make sick new samples with the same layers you've used in old samples. What we went ahead and did is I took this pad layer and this bass layer, moved it into a new sample, and the second sample was called NEMZZZ, and added different things to it that's irrelevant for now. Here's what the second sample sounded like. It's called NEMZZZ. As you can probably hear, pad's been reversed, it's been pitched up, so it went from sounding like this to this. And then one day I was making a NEMZZZ beat for our Type Beat channel. I pulled up the sample and I was like, geez, actually it's not that great. So I took those 2 same layers again. I've got this bass and this pad. Here's what it sounds like as NEMZZZ part 2, third project from the original sample. First, I'm going to show you the vocal chops that I added to this one from Aura Vocal Bundle, by the way. So we pulled these vocals in. This was just from a random vocal sample from the unreleased Aura, and all I did was chop these things up. Here's what one of the layers sound like. I'm going to show you the original sample first so you can hear what it sounded like before everything was chopped up, post effects, everything. And that's also sped up from its original too. So then I went ahead and threw it on this mixer track. We've just got an EQ taking out lots of the lows, some of the highs. We've got a delay, just giving it more stuff, more texture going on. Spreader, giving it stereo feel. And a pan man, just going left to right. And with the chops I did, here's what the vocal sounds like now. And then it repeats. Then went ahead and added a secondary vocal. It is from the same chop. All I did was pitch it down a full octave. It had the exact same effects as that first vocal, and I just cut a small part from it which sounds like this. And then it repeats again here. And then so I was chopping these vocals up, fitting them in with the original pad and the bass. Here's what the vocal, pad, and bass sound like all together. Then we'll jump into the other FLP and break down the other 2 layers to the sample. For now, here's what the sample sounds like. Here's what one of the sounds sound like. This was from Sky Keys. It was like some key inside of Sky Keys. Just playing random stuff. Reversed it, lots of reverb. And then in a second section of the sample, that was just pitched down a full octave. And the very last layer for the sample is from Sky Keys. Can't get the original FLP, but this was some random lead, just playing singular notes, reversed it in gross beat, and here was the product. Reverb, delays, all this kind of stuff. Here's what it sounds like. Super simple, there's like 3 notes in there, but because it's reversed and it's got delays and stuff, it sounds like a cool texture. That's it for the sample. So I'm gonna play the whole sample together as it was in the beat. And then another section here. And then it repeats again. So it's a sample. Gonna break down the drums now. This one went on our type beat channel. It's a sick beat. The drums are kind of simple. 4 layers and a riser. That's the thing with our beats that we post, and the beats we make in general are usually sample orientated, since that's like what we specialize in. We've got our hi-hat, simple pattern. Clap. That repeats over. We've got our 808. Got open hat. And our famous riser. Easy. That's all the layers to this whole beat. Sounds a lot more complicated than it is. Even the sample, when you break it down, is literally the main elements is just a pad, the vocal chop, and then like the texture thing. Not even that hard to make. Moral of today's video: keep your samples and your beats simple. You can still make them sound good, and this is a perfect example of that. I'm gonna play this beat for you guys. Hopefully you've learned something. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one.